So let's talk about India's infrastructure. On one hand, you see these incredible headlines, right? Gleaming new expressways, high-speed trains. But on the other hand, you hear these stories about crumbling roads and just daily struggles. So what's the real picture here? Is it a grand vision, or is something failing on the ground? Let's get into it.
You know, to really understand what's at stake, let's forget the massive projects for just a second and start with a real human story. This is an actual headline. A doctor, someone whose job is to save lives, lost his own life because of a poorly maintained road. And the heartbreaking part? He wasn't the first. This is where the whole debate stops being about concrete and steel and becomes a matter of life and death.
And that's the central question, isn't it? In a country that's building some of the most ambitious infrastructure on the planet, how do these basic, totally preventable tragedies keep happening? To find out, we really have to dig into this gap between the promise and the pavement.
All right, so section 1, let's explore that gap. Because on one side, you have this incredible, powerful vision for a new, modern India. But on the other, well, the day-to-day reality for a lot of people looks very different.
And wow, the vision is seriously impressive. We've all seen the images, right? These sleek, futuristic Vande Bharat trains that promise to shrink the country. These massive, smooth expressways stretching for miles. This is the story of a nation building world-class infrastructure, a nation absolutely on the move.
But then, there's the other story. And look, this isn't just one city's problem. It's everywhere. From Bhiwandi in the west to Assam in the east, Chandigarh up north to Bengaluru down south, the reports are just constant. Dangerous roads, crumbling streets, and deadly potholes. It's a persistent, nationwide crisis.
In fact, some commentators have a name for this whole thing: building big, breaking fast. And it's a pretty sharp critique, right? The idea is that the focus is so intense on the big, splashy launch, the grand opening, that the long-term quality and the maintenance needed to stop things from, well, breaking fast just gets lost in the shuffle.
So why do things break fast? Is it just bad luck or poor construction, or is there something bigger going on? Well, to figure that out, we have to do what you always have to do. Follow the money. Let's see where the priorities really lie. And when you do follow the money, you find this constant battle of priorities. On one side, you've got the glitz, the big, shiny projects that get all the headlines. And on the other, you've got the grit, the essential, unglamorous, nuts and bolts work of just keeping things running. And it seems like the investment and the attention is heavily skewed towards the glitz.
Let's just zoom in on the railways for a second and talk about a key term here: asset renewal. Now, it sounds super technical, but it's really simple. It's the most basic, vital work you can do: replacing old tracks, fixing old bridges, updating signals. It's the foundation that the entire system relies on to be safe. And this is where your jaw might just hit the floor. According to reports, the Indian Railways needs more than 34,000 crore rupees for this critical safety work. The actual money they were allocated? Just 1,500 crore. I mean, look at that. That's not a gap, it's a canyon. It's a massive shortfall for the most fundamental safety work imaginable.
And this has a real domino effect. You see these high-speed trains like the Vande Bharat getting all the attention, but they're running on the same existing tracks that are part of that deeply underfunded network. These tracks often weren't even designed for those speeds. So what happens? It can create congestion, and it slows down the regular passenger and freight trains that are the absolute lifeline for millions of people.
But it's not just a story of neglect. If you look at rural India, there's actually this incredible achievement, a story of unbelievable scale. But it's a story that also reveals a really critical flaw in this whole approach.
Just take a look at this number, 374,000 kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's like circling the Earth almost 10 times. That is the incredible length of rural roads built in India since 2014 under just one government scheme. It's a mind-boggling scale.
And the impact has been massive. I mean, this construction blitz has connected over 99% of eligible rural communities to a road. For millions of people, that's a total game changer. In terms of just pure connectivity, it's a monumental success.
But here's the question, right? Once the ribbon is cut, once the road is officially built, is the job actually done?
And this is that critical flaw, because what people on the ground are saying is that despite the record-breaking pace, a lot of these absolutely vital roads are plagued by problems: poor quality construction, crumbling surfaces, and little to no maintenance. They're falling into disrepair almost as fast as they're being built.
So we're starting to see a pattern here, aren't we? A grand vision that clashes with a grim reality, massive scale that's undermined by poor quality. And all of this forces us to ask a really fundamental question. What does progress actually look like?
Let's just break it all down. The dilemma plays out everywhere we've looked. For roads, the vision is smooth, safe travel, but the reality is fatal potholes. For priorities, the vision is world-class projects, but the reality is neglected foundations. For railways, the vision is high-speed trains, but the reality is an underfunded, struggling network. And for rural India, the vision of total connectivity is being undermined by the reality of poor quality and no upkeep.
And that really leaves us with one final big question. What is the true measure of a nation's development? Is it the symbolic, high-profile projects that look amazing on the news, or is it the foundational safety and reliability that serves every single person every single day? That's the real question at the heart of India's infrastructure dilemma.